You know, it's so interesting. We just interviewed Lacey Delane. She was the advanced team lead in Georgia during the campaign. And after Andrew dropped out of the race, and she talked about how, you know, kind of everybody who was a part of the campaign was kind of feeling low. Like, you know, we'd spent all this energy. We were so excited. And then, you know, it was like we didn't have anywhere to pour that energy after Yang dropped out. And then, of course, Yang transitioned into creating his new organization called Humanity Forward, where it's all about taking those ideas and trying to find other ways to promote them outside of just him as an individual candidate, which is so exciting. But what was cool is Yang at that time started a podcast called Yang Speaks. Right around the same time, Lacey started her podcast with her friend Sonia called Rethinking Humanity. And you guys, right around the same time, started the Yang Gang Book Club. Tell us about that. What was that like, going from being involved in the campaign, being excited about Andrew as a candidate, but then being even more excited about the bigger ideas going forward? Mm-hmm. And how you then decided to translate, you know, that excitement into your own project, this Yang Gang Book Club, which has been so fun to watch materialize over the past few months.
Kateri, I think it's your turn to tell the story.
Oh yeah.
But I do want to say real quick, love Lacey. Absolutely adore Lacey and Sonia.
So
I love their podcast.
Yes, they're phenomenal. Yeah. We're big fans.
You're amazing.
Yes, we had the honor to go on her podcast once before, and just nerded out talking about books, which was amazing.
Love it.
Which, by the way, the podcast, like, it's a philosophy podcast, but they go into a book, which is I think To Have or to Be by Eric Fromm. So we're down with that.
Love it.
So yeah, we take turns telling the story, so it's my turn.
Love it. We do the same thing.
That's good. It's very democratic. So we were both Yang Gang, like, completely individually of each other, and like joined Yang Gang Twitter. Like, we have a really similar story, Meghin and I. And so we both kind of joined Yang Gang Twitter at some point in 2019, and, you know, we're super down for the cause, and got really politically involved for the first time, like campaigning for him, phone banking, canvassing, doing all this stuff that was like not something we'd ever done before for another political candidate.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we're very crushed when, you know, he dropped out. And then also kind of independently of each other had a similar idea to start a book club. And so I had tweeted, well, Meghin's like way better about being on Twitter. I am like totally, like, we're both like observers, but she actually also participates. And I try to be good about that. So anyway, I didn't like necessarily have any following whatsoever. I just literally was retweeting and trending stuff. So I had tweeted, because I had this idea like the day after he dropped out, of doing a book club with this community to, like, at the very least, keep us together, keep us, you know, engaging in these topics. So I tweeted about we should start a book club, and it actually got picked up. Like, people actually retweeted it. And so I was like, oh, it must be a good idea. And someone who saw it happened to know Meghin and know that she was in a group with some other people in the community who were thinking of starting a book club. So then we get connected, and I end up in this chat with Meghin. And I noticed that, like, at that point, the chat is the book club.
Okay.
And I was like, well, guys, I don't mean to, like, you know, stir things up a little bit too much, but like, my idea was like, no, we should like Oprah's book club.
Right.
If I actually said that, but I think it's something along those lines. Yeah. Okay.
We're thinking Oprah. We're thinking Reese Witherspoon. We're thinking you get a book, you get a book, you get a book.
I love it. Look under your seats. You get a book.
So that level of enthusiasm.
Love it.
And so it was Meghin that responded, you know, especially enthusiastically. And so we kind of just all of a sudden, like, we kind of overtook the chat, and we realized pretty quickly, like, this was something that, you know, she and I were really, really invested in. And we both had like very similar ideas. So, and then the crazy thing is that, like, that tweet that I did was actually a writer from Elle magazine saw it. I had no idea how, still to this day. And so, like, she did a story on our book club.
We saw that. We'll have to put that on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is it's so cool. It's like such a great little time capsule of, you know, the early days of this whole project.
Was that your first time in Elle magazine?
Yeah. Definitely my first time in Elle magazine. And so, Evelyn Yang saw it, Andrew Yang's wife saw it and tweeted about it saying, oh, this is so cool. And, you know, like she followed us. We actually like slid into her DMs like, thank you.
Yes.
And she responded, which was really sweet. And then Andrew tweeted about us and followed us. And then it kind of, I guess at that point, it's like the rest is history, you know, and we read a book every month. We're like kind of like a normal book club, but we are online, of course. And I guess the other huge element is COVID happened right after.
Right.
So there was a good little period there where we really became this awesome space. We're always an awesome space.
Right.
But, you know, there was a good little period where it was like we were new and it was a cool new thing. And a lot of people did tell us like, hey, this was really a positive thing for me at a really dark time, that we could just kind of read books and have a safe space and get to know each other on that level. So yeah,
that's really awesome.
And yeah, we haven't like missed a month either. So we've been, you know, this is now January, and yeah, so it's been really fun.
That's really great. How do you guys pick out your books? What leads you to a book? How far in advance do you pick them out? I have so many questions.
What's your process like?
Yeah, so sometimes our books are inspired by previous books that we've read. For example, this month we're reading Blueprint for Revolution, which we're super excited about. And the reason we were so excited,
we're also reading it.
The reason we got
How do you pronounce his name?
I thought it was Serja Popovic.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
Serja, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry if I messed it up. But this book, the reason we got so excited about it is because we read This Is an Uprising last year by Mark and Paul Engler, which is a phenomenal book, also kind of a manual for nonviolent revolution. And they have a whole chapter on haute pour, which is what Serja found.
Right.
So that's like one of those books that if you ask me what's like one book you wish you could like make people read, This Is an Uprising is very high up there, along with like War on Normal People and Humankind. But it's a really, really good book. And so it kind of inspired this book. I think our goal is usually to pick them out way ahead of time.
Yeah.
But we end up getting so excited. And so we usually pick them like the month before.
Okay.
And I think that's mostly so we kind of don't put ourselves in a box.
That's fair.
You know, if something exciting comes up or we see that there's like a theme, like the Yang Gang is like looking for, you know, what do we do about this? Or this is what people are excited about on Twitter or current events. Yeah. So we'll just say, okay, then let's try this.
Right.
I will say Kateri does a lot of the research on like finding the books and picking them out, and then I always okay it because, like she said, we do think like very similarly. So usually if I read the description, I'm immediately like, yeah, this is perfect. And so, yeah, that's usually how we pick them out. We do have themes that we try to keep to. So that kind of guides us. And then we do mostly pick nonfiction, but we have done fiction in the past.
Thanks for checking out this clip from our show.
To watch more clips or full episodes, click on our profile below.
If you want to stay up to date on all of our new episodes and videos, click subscribe.
And if you have any ideas for future guests or topics that you would like to see us cover on the show,
leave us a message in the comments or connect with us on any of our social media channels at Funtime Program.
Or on our website at funtimeprogram.com.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.